Today is a new day to start again. Take each moment one by one and do the best you can. Yesterday doesn't matter, it only serves as a ladder. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed, so make your plans accordingly. Today is a new day to start again. Take each moment one by one and do the best you can. Grand Rising. Today is a new day to start again. It is 6/3/2025. I like a good intro. I've been trying to come up with a little cycle with those bells. I wiped myself out yesterday. I haven't done yoga for the last week because I had a lot of stuff going on where I was on a vacation trip kind of thing. And so when I got back, it's only been a week, but I'm telling you, it wiped me out. I did it in the morning and I was wiped out from that one. And then when I did it in the evening, I was about as tired as I've been in trying to do those. And they did this Pilates thing with the legs up in the air and working on your core. And what I determined is my core, there's a lot of room for improvement. I thought I was in a lot better shape than I actually am. I also was very tired, so it was a little discouraging because I couldn't even get my legs straight to do the Pilates stuff because I just didn't have enough in me. So I kind of did them with, but it is what it is. Anyways, I have rested a lot. I rested a lot yesterday. Overall, it was a great day. At the end of the evening, I worked on my roses. I have roses outside my house, or the house that I'm living in. I keep saying mine, it's not really mine, but I'm here for now. I have picked up, I was a little bit disappointed in myself because I didn't pick up a golf club at all yesterday. It's almost like I'm afraid to get myself into it. I want to play. Maybe I just don't feel like I've earned it. I don't know. And I was very tired, and I don't want to start out tired. I want to come out, I want to be excited. I don't want to just do it, especially when I begin. I want to start with great intent. So that's kind of where we're at with that. But like I said, I do love working on these roses. I arrived here last summer at the end of the summer, and they'd just been overrun. But the previous owner really obviously had put some intent into the rose bushes because they were very strong. Just had been not trimmed for a while. So I started trimming them, really not knowing what I'm doing. So I really have no play on these roses at all, but they started to bloom this year and they were really pretty. So they're just now at the point where I needed to trim them. And so I did that last night. And then I have all these rose petals. I'm not sure what to do with them, but I think that I really do like, it's really pretty. The roses are really beautiful, especially when they first start to bloom. And I'm imagining when you get a really healthy rose bush, it's very beautiful. So I've been trying to work on my rose bush. While I've been doing that, I allowed the cats out into the front because it was dusk. It was, it stays light for so late in the evening now. But I was out there about 9 to 10 o'clock and it was still basically kind of light out. I have so much to be grateful for. I wasn't going to do a video today because I was trying to just enjoy the day, but I want to make sure that I document these whenever I'm doing well too. So I did determine that my core is very weak, but it significantly needs improvement and it's an easy fix. So I'm going to start putting some of my intent into working on my core, which apparently isn't very strong. It's funny too. I had a conversation with a gentleman about the core. It's funny how people think this idea of this core, iron core of the earth, in that picture that we had given to us when we were kids, is like a real documented thing. It's funny to me. Anyway, so I like to implement practice is my new thing. I talked a lot about that in my last video. So whenever you're practicing and you apply practice to pretty much all parts of your life, you have to ask yourself, what music do I listen to? I mean, once you understand when you're listening to music, what that's bringing, you're taking that in. It's like eating whenever you're listening to music, especially when you choose to listen to the music that you're listening to. That's even more so. What do I watch? What am I watching? Same kind of thing applies. So yesterday evening, instead of watching a Netflix show or getting myself into a YouTube video, I decided to clip and trim my rose bushes out front. I involved my 2 cats. And then this third cat came along. I thought that was kind of fun. We have a new stray gray cat, but it's not a stray because it had a collar and a bell on it. So I just let things play out at first. So Bodhi is my larger cat. And so this cat arrived while both of them were inside still. And I'm like, well, I'm going to let Bodhi out. And so Bodhi just came out, acknowledged that there was a gray cat. I thought it was the same gray cat as before, but the gray cat before didn't have a collar on it. This one has a collar and a bell. So either it's the same cat but I think the other cat had 4 socks, kind of like my Sassy. Anyways, if you're not watching any of these videos, you won't know who I'm talking about. I got 2 cats. One is Bodhi. Bodhi's chill, black, and healthy is what I like to say. And then this gray cat was a new gray cat. I'm going to say it because I don't think it was the same as the other. So we have a thing with gray cats coming to my doorstep. So a new gray cat with a bell. Bodhi's just like, what's up? And chills for a minute. So it was kind of boring. I decided to allow Sassy to get involved. And so I opened the door and Sassy just comes running out. She's got a little side tilt thing that she does. So I'm not sure she's all there. She's fast. She seems pretty smart, but she just ran out and she kind of did this thing. And then she acknowledged that the gray cat was there. And the gray cat actually had moved up closer to the front steps. And so Bodhi is in the top of the step. And Sassy just kind of darts out, somehow gets caught between Bodhi and this other gray cat in this weird spot by the rose bush. And you can't just run through a rose bush because there's thorns on it. So Sassy's in a weird spot. She doesn't really know what to do. So then she darts underneath the rose bush without hopefully getting hurt and goes to the other side of the porch. And then the gray cat goes back over there. Bodhi is the black cat who is healthy. She's just sitting there chilling. She doesn't care about any of this. So then I go over to check out what's going on with Sassy. First of all, I don't want Sassy running off too far. And so they have a little interaction where the gray cat and Sassy, gray cat seems to want to get involved with Sassy. And they got close enough, but it was in behind the pole and I couldn't see. And something hissed at one of them hissed. I'm pretty sure it was the other gray cat. And Sassy came darting around and came and ran back into the house. And so I shut the door behind her and said, okay, you're going to stay for a while. I don't think anything bad happened. I just think they had a little thing. So then the gray cat hung out in the front and I continued to trim my rose bushes. And Bodhi still hung out for a little bit. Then I got into really trimming the rose bushes. I tried to approach the gray cat to see if the gray cat was okay. I reopened the door to let Sassy out, but Sassy really was kind of done with the whole thing. So then I shut Sassy back in. I think she lost her confidence. But the moon was also very cool. I bought these binoculars at the pawn shop near where I live. And the pawn shop, I was looking at them and they were way undervalued. I bought them for $15 cash. And they were, when I Googled it, they were like $50 when you bought them eBay. That's what, or through Amazon. So I was like, score. And I tried to use those to look at the moon a little bit. That was fun. I'm not going to be under 10 minutes. Darn it. I got way off into conjecture here. So anyways, instead of what, I enjoyed all of that. And that's one thing, that's why I'm saying I'm so blessed is I got this little gray cat that hung out. So then the gray cat left, and to finish the episode out with the roses, I have this big pile of roses, rose petals. So I put all those in a bag. And then I kept trimming, and then Bodhi wanted to go on an adventure, like when it was time for us to come back inside. And we had a problem. She went over to the other side. There's something she wants. There's a house that's vacant to mine that nobody lives in. And so Bodhi's claimed that as like her area where she's allowed to go when nobody's around. And she's really not. I need to establish that with her because she's not going to understand. So I'm like, well, we got to go back in the house. We can go out in the backyard if you want to, but she's just not really listening to me. And she was being stubborn. So she actually got fixated underneath my rose bush where I couldn't get to her. And she was basically just like, I'm not going in. And I couldn't get to her, but I did like a stomp with my foot and said, Bodhi, get in the house. And then finally she jumped up on the steps. But she could sit there if she wanted to and be stubborn, and I wouldn't be able to get to her because the rose bushes around her. That would be a problem. And if she wanted to be stubborn, I think she could do that. So I don't like her having that kind of power over my life. So anyways, I let Bodhi in the house. We went back inside, and that was the end of my evening. And that was my rosebush story. I need to do my rose bushes in the backyard. I have one, and trim a little bit, and that's what I think I'm going to do this evening instead of watching another episode. What we feed ourselves, our job, our coworkers, our employers, some of that is not in our control, and we have to just go and live within that. Not that it's bad or good, but our family, our home, our friends, and even our enemies, who is our concern? Who am I to tell you who I am? Hey, 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 hey! Ooh, whoa! Won't you come see about me? I'll be alone, dancing, you know it, baby. Tell me your troubles and doubts, giving everything inside and out, and love strange, so real in the dark, thinking of tender things that we were working on. Slow change may pull us apart when the lights go into your heart, baby. Don't you forget about me. Don't you forget about me. I just wanted to sing. I think I've done that song a few times on these videos, but I kind of like to just break out in song out of nowhere sometimes just to see if it works. Like my life is a musical. I think it'd be fun to do that in public. Just like be in a random moment and just start going into it and just see how many people catch on with it and just start a whole thing. I've always kind of wanted to do that. That'd just be fun. I've got a nice day ahead of me. I'm looking forward to Summer of Love Day 2. Let's just end it there. Do great, be grateful. I got my little hexagon love quartz, rose quartz, I guess is a better term for it. I'm just going to try to enjoy the moments when they're available and do the best I can. That's all you can really do. Take each moment one by one and do the best you can. Be grateful. Have an awesome day.